Hello there, and welcome to Joyful Business TV. I am so glad that you are here today for this next episode. We've got a really good one. I'm going to be talking about success scripting, or what I call writing your reality and then watching it unfold as you take courageous, inspired actions. So hello, I am Laura West, host of your TV show, and I am also the CEO of the Center for Joyful Business at joyfulbusiness.com. And, for over 20 years, I have been working with coaches, healers, creatives, conscious business entrepreneurs of all types, really discover and claim their soul work, right? The work that they are meant to do, like they know. You probably know if you're here, it's work that you're meant to do, right? Where you're using your creative gifts, your talents, your expertise and wisdom, bringing it all together and using it to be able to make a difference, right? It's your contribution, right? Your contribution to making the world a better place. And I love working with passionate entrepreneurs like you who are probably really good at what you do, but then you also have that other piece. How do I market? How do I make money? How do I attract clients? Right? And so I love to work with entrepreneurs on bringing in the abundance flow mindset, right? It's a really powerful operating system, internal operating system, and an environmental system where you release your blocks to open up whatever's getting in the way, open up your voice, your power, your confidence, your conviction, so that you can truly put your work out into the world in a way that makes you more visible, you become more magnetic, you attract clients and amazing opportunities that really feel like they're in alignment with who you really are and the way that you want to show up in the world. And it also really calls in and makes room for the magic and the miracles, right? This whole stream of support that arises to meet you. All right, so that's the perfect stage setting for what we're going to talk about today. So what we're going to talk about is the idea that one of my favorite tools. So the idea is when you're growing your business, there's all this practical daily to-do stuff that you need to do, right? There's the delivering of your work. There is the technology stuff. There's the marketing stuff, right? There's all the things. But there's something that really is the precursor to all of that, to make that all work. And that has to do with your mindset, right? That when you align your energy behind what it is that you're doing and you are 100% aligned with it, there's no stopping you. You really become unstoppable. So within this mindset work, there is the imagination, right? The imagination. And there have been many studies done in athletics, in sports, where many successful athletes spend time imagining making the shot, right? Imagine hitting the home run, right? Imagining hitting the net over the ball over the net and recovering if they don't, or recovering, all of that, doing that over and over, that repetitive imagination, and using the imagination, because your body and your mind really don't know the difference between your imagination and reality, which can be a scary place to go to sometimes, but we're using it for good, right? Which is actually, and that's a great point. Like I can remember I was just talking to a friend the other day and we were talking about Jurassic Park and how I remember when I was so young and I saw that movie and it felt so real, right? These dinosaurs felt like they were real. And, I couldn't help but my body get tensed up, when I was watching that. And I could feel like, oh my God, this big Tyrannosaurus Rex is in the rearview mirror, right? And so your body, even though you knew, it wasn't real, even though I'm watching the TV show, the movie, and I know, of course, it's not real, still my body was feeling the tenseness, right? And my body was feeling that fear for them. So the same thing can happen is you can use the same imaginative force for good, right? So you can imagine success. And so we do that by something that I call success scripting. And I am celebrating 22 years of my business this year. And I will say that success scripting has been a big part of it. This process that I developed, it brings in many components And I run workshops on this online and in person, and I teach it to my clients because it's just a big part of success, just like the, excuse me, the athletes who are, in their mind, imagining success over and over again. Excuse me. That same thing happens where you can use the power of your imagination for imagining success and really, really imagining, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, what that means, imagining this wild success, this beautiful, amazing success in your business. Excuse me, I had a tickle in my throat. So scripting combines imagining, and imagining in all different ways, the visual, the senses, and it brings in all the senses. It brings in and raises your emotional vibration, right? So when you're raising your emotional vibration, just like we were talking about with Jurassic Park, you were totally, I can remember watching that, right? It was totally enmeshed. I was totally feeling the emotions, the vibration of being chased by the Tyrannosaurus Rex and, the stress of that. And we know that when we imagine things in our business, like we'll use it for not for good, right? And then we imagine failing at something or something doesn't work out right. We can feel it, our body tense up. Well, the same thing happens when you imagine success. Your body expands, you go to the higher vibrations, you can feel the joy of the success, the passion, the enthusiasm, the thrill of it. And so we want to use our imagination in our business because that's how we raise our vibration and get to that big expansive energy, like the joy, the passion, enthusiasm. And then that opens up whole new levels. It's almost like it unlocks whole new levels of creativity, confidence, and conviction. And not only that, but this world that we live in, this universe that we are in, communicates by energy, right? We communicate, we're connected to everything, and everything has a certain vibration. And so God, the universe, source, energy feels that vibration, and they bring things to us that are in alignment with our vibration. And so you want to focus on that highest vibration of what you want to create as though you are creating it now. So as you can tell, this is a really powerful process. It lets the universe know your dreams and desires. It stirs up your own passion and helps you really get into the energy of your big yes. And I just did a whole episode on your big yes. Big yes is about who you want to be in the world and what you want to be doing. It's calling you into your purpose, into saying yes to life. What is it? How is it you want to be showing up in the world? And what is that big yes that you want to be doing? And the big yes can be your business. It can be a project. It can be the way you want to show up in the world. It can be the way you show up at your PTA meeting, right? It can be the way that you show up in your family. It encompasses all of that. So when you bring that energy, right, that big yes energy, being in alignment with that big yes energy, when you bring that energy into success scripting, this amazing vibration happens, right? It's like you become this magnet for what you want to create, manifest, and really draw to you. So I can share an example. I remember when I was going through the divorce with the father of our two sons, and I was clear this was the path that we needed to take, but I also was really clear, like I knew we were going to be connected for life. We have these two boys together. So I wanted a real spiritually led divorce, a spiritual relationship that we would still have, that we were going to be like a conscious divorce, that we were going to be consciously connected and intentional about our relationship because that impacts our sons. So I scripted like crazy during that time. I scripted about the outcome of the actual divorce. I scripted about the process, that we would go through it amicably. I scripted about the afterlife of us together as parents. And before each meeting, like we would have these little meetings where we would talk about like one segment of the separation agreement. And I would script the meeting, how I would arrive, how I would be towards him, imagining how he would be towards me, how that would make me feel, how comfortable I would make him feel, respectful of each other. And I put in all the words, of how we were going to treat each other, and just making up how I thought this meeting would go and how we would come to this arrangement, got clear on what it is that I wanted. And sometimes I got exactly what I wanted, and sometimes it wasn't exactly how I wanted, but I really kept the energy of it. The essence of it was always right on. And to this day, we are still connected. He is a good friend. I totally trust him. We want the best for each other. And I attribute scripting to helping me stay connected to this intention all throughout our time, even after. So scripting the possibilities for my being, how I showed up, right? I know that how getting really clear about how I was showing up and really feeling it in my body helped me to show up that way. And then when I showed up that way, it changed how he showed up, right? It wasn't adversarial. So doing this over and over again, even when it didn't match my script, many times it went into a direction that was even better than I could have imagined, right? So an example of that is after our court appearance, where, the time you had to go through a judge and all of that, and we did all that, and then it was finalized. Afterwards, he took me to a club, like a business club, and we toasted with champagne in the middle of the afternoon to the rest of our lives, wanting the best for each other. Now, I couldn't have even imagined that outcome, right? I didn't script that exact situation. And, but what I know without a doubt that I paved the road to that kind of experience, right? So let me tell you what a success script is and how you can use it in your business and in your life. So it's like a story, right? It's a story where you are the author. You are the author of this story of your life. Kind of like a script for a movie. And so you're going to write it out like you would a script for a movie. And then I said this, and then somebody else said this, and this is what happened. Or maybe like a book that you're reading, right? Where you're the main character and you're writing in this present moment. It's happening right now. You're not being the observer and saying, oh, she did this and she did that. You're saying, I'm doing this now. This is how I feel. This is what's going on. This is who's coming into the picture. Here's who else is with me. Here's what they said. You want to put yourself into a particular situation with your scripting. Like I did last year. I did it several times when I was writing my new, designing my new website. And it was a really big, expensive undertaking, and a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of hope and dreams and a lot of work, to get clear about what my message was, what my message is, what my message isn't. So I kept imagining celebrating my website. How was it happening? How was it going to unfold? I wrote about it as though it was happening right now. How good I'm feeling about my website right now, how much I am appreciating the copywriter, how much I am appreciating the designer. I'm appreciating how my team stepped in and helped out when we needed some additional help. Calling in like the clarity, like that I need to write a certain part of this or review the edits, and that I was calling in, I just loved how I was super clear about it. Even if I wasn't feeling super clear, just calling in that my intention is on Friday when I have to review it, I'm going to be super clear. And that I'm going to be able to communicate clearly to my copywriter how I want the copy to unfold, and she's going to understand my intentions. And I just kept writing about that over and over again. And all these, and sometimes, I did like one big overview, and then sometimes I just did small, short, little scripts where it was about what was coming up for that week. All right. And then, I did the big overall one that was, here's me unveiling my website. Here's me showing my website to people. Here's me passionately sharing and excited about how beautiful the photos look, how beautiful the website looks, how clear my message is. And then I imagined what people would say to me. I imagined how it would draw clients to me. I would imagine how people, I wrote in there, a certain client came to me and they said, oh my gosh, I went to your website and it was so on target. It was like you were speaking to me. That's what I wanted people to really, that's what I wanted to hear. And so I wrote it as though that's what I was hearing, right? That's what people were saying. And what happens is when you write that, it shifts things inside you, right? The more detail you write and the more you get into the essence of it, the feeling of it, the emotion of it, that it feels real and you're thinking it and it just seems so real that the more you get in alignment with it, and I swear things start happening over and over again. I see this happen with my clients and with me. So this is particularly important in your business, like with your website. But anytime you have a big project, or maybe you're having a difficult conversation, so it could be for the tough part of projects, like how I was just kind of scripting my way through creating the website. It might be for a retreat that's coming up, and you're imagining the retreat and how that retreat unfolds. You could be about the marketing of the retreat, it could be about leading the retreat. You can script for your year. Here's the end of the year. Here I'm celebrating. Here's how all these things went. Here's what I'm feeling. Here's what I'm toasting my champagne to. Here's the money that I made. Here's how that makes me feel. I love when I open my bank account, I check my app for my bank and I can see all these zeros in it, like good zeros, lots of zeros, things like that. So you want all the little nuances, all the little like things that you would do. If you have a really successful year, then you're going to do things like check your bank account. Maybe you're enjoying the money that you were able to contribute towards building out your basement, right? Maybe you bought a new car. Maybe you went on some trips, or you had a really great Christmas because of that, or you hired a new team for your business, or hired a virtual assistant. But you can also script for the month. You know, what a great process to do on the first of the month is script how you're going to feel at the end of the month, what kinds of things happened. You can script for a day if you have a particular day that you're going through, or maybe you're launching a new program. And so you can just write the script at the end of the day. I'm relaxing, put my head on the pillow with a smile of appreciation and reviewing my day. And here's all the things that unfolded. So again, short, long, it all works, right? You're engaging all your senses, you're engaging your imagination. Now you have to let yourself go, right? Like you have to let yourself go to wherever you can go. And the more you do this, the easier it is to do. But you have to let yourself surrender, right? You have to really go to possibility land and be open to receiving those ideas, whatever ideas might come. You might not know if that's really going to happen, you know, but you just kind of let it unfold. And you know what? You could write a script for the very same thing the next day. Like if you were to write about the end of your year and you write another script tomorrow, you might come up with all new ideas, right? All new senses, all new people who are saying things, all new types of ways that you might be celebrating. But what happens is the more you do this, the more ideas do start popping in, all sorts of ideas that just, it's like you open a channel, and the more that you get into the feelings of it, the emotions of it, what people are saying, who you're surrounded by, where the support came from that was in real life, and where this, or in seen friends, seen support, and the support that comes from unseen, then that's where the synchronicities come in, right? And it's really fun to write about these amazing synchronicities that you really do make up in the moment, right? But you feel so in alignment with it. It's like, that's a possibility. And I'm a believer that at any point in time, when you look out, you can see a vision, right? You can see what's possible. But if you just turn a little bit, you know, if you were to make one different decision, all new possibilities open up, right? I had a client this morning who has been wanting to go to the chamber of commerce meeting, and she hasn't been able to go. And then things lined up with her kids' schooling, and she was able to go today. And she went, and the person who was normally representing small businesses on this panel was sick that day. And so she couldn't be on the panel. And so they asked her to go on the panel, right? That's a synchronicity, right? You were able to show up, you got invited to be on the stage, you got additional visibility for your business, credibility for your business. Things like that happen all the time. Part of it was showing up, listening to the nudges, but part of it can be you script like imaginative things, right? Another key part is that you also will get inspiration to take actions. And this is an important part of the scripting process, right? It comes to you different ways, right? You might feel it, you might sense it, you might just know it, you might get a visual picture, you might just get this urge to maybe call somebody or reach out or go to the chamber meeting, right? Maybe to do a class. I first did a scripting class, and then I got so many people who said they loved it that then other people started collaborating and saying, Laura, come do a scripting class for my people, and come do it for my group, my association, things like that. So you never know where things are going to happen, but scripting itself gets you going, right? Gets you going with all this. And you do have to just trust the energy and take that inspired actions. It can seem like magic. It's not magic in that you sit back on the couch eating bonbons, watching Netflix, and all these clients are going to show up and all these opportunities are going to show up without you doing anything. Now, if you've set up marketing systems ahead of time and you listen to your inspiration and brought in your creativity and opened up, and put out your beautiful brilliance, then yes, you could be sitting on the couch watching Netflix, eating bonbons, and you could be ringing up sales. So that can absolutely happen, but you have to take action somewhere along the line, right, for things to happen. All right. So, it's even like the idea of, winning the lottery. You can have all the luck in the world and you can be lined up and totally, I'm going to win the lottery, but you have to take the action to buy the ticket, right? So let me give you a few tips about scripting. All right. And I teach whole classes on this. So if you're loving this and you're curious about it, I will say it's easier to do when somebody's leading you than to, if you're haven't done this very much before, or it's just more fun to do it when somebody else is kind of leading you through a different process. So go over to my website at joyfulbusiness.com, sign up for my newsletter, and you'll get notifications of when I have different classes and workshops, things like that. So here's some tips. First of all, is you don't write about it in the future, like, here's what I would like to have happen, or someday this might have happened, right? You want to put yourself in the place of, here's what's happening to me now, here's what's happened in the past to get me here, and all of this is unfolding, all right? It's kind of manifesting basics. Another part of that is you don't want to focus on what you don't want, right? However, sometimes it's really good to say, when you feel the fears and the doubts and like, oh, I'm just making this up, and you start feeling the doubts and the worries, is that you can use that to inform you about what you don't want. Okay, so I don't want to not make money from this class that I'm going to offer. So I do want that. So work you doing it and you making money and the things that you did to invite clients in, work that into what you do want, right? Work that into your script as though it's happened. And you also want to work, like when you feel that fear, and if you feel the fear of, say, speaking in public, then you want to start working on scripts that are, seeing yourself on stage as though it was easy. You were really grounded. You were wearing something you felt really comfortable and really great in, it amped up your energy. It was the perfect people who were receiving you and receiving your message and supporting you with their kind and smiling faces, right? You get to write all of that in. All right. I love to write in the present moment as though I write, I am enjoying or I am celebrating. And I love to go to the place of I am celebrating or savoring this moment when I'm acknowledging something. My website was completed. The year has ended. I filled a class. I'm relaxing after a retreat and celebrating what happened during the retreat. And then you go back through and start writing, here's what I loved about it. And you want to include, how do you feel? What kinds of things are you seeing? Seeing the smiling faces, people nodding in the audience when you're speaking. You want those kinds of things. You want to see yourself opening emails with testimonials from your retreats, right? The people are like, oh my gosh, it was the most amazing thing. Here's why I loved your retreat. What kinds of things would you be hearing your clients saying? What kinds of things would your colleagues be saying? Laura, that's the most beautiful website. Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. That is so you. It's so on target. It's so on point. All right, those kinds of things. And you can even involve your senses around smelling and touching. Maybe you are smelling the aroma of your favorite dinner, and the taste of your favorite dinner that is your big celebration for the year because you hit a money goal, right? Maybe there's a sense of touch. You're touching your book, pulling it out of the package for the very first time out of the box, and then you're just feeling what it feels like to touch your book and to comb through it, and see the pages, see your name on it, and feel the excitement and the pride that comes with that. See, the more juicy details you can get, the better it is, all right? The more it's going to activate all of the things inside you that are, it's going to activate all the energy inside you and the vibration, and then it's going to emanate out and magnetize more things to you, okay? And just remember, this is only one script, right? There's multiple scripts. You can write different scripts every day. You can rework the script, just like they do. You hear about that in the movies, right? It's one script, one possibility, but there are unlimited possibilities, endless possibilities for how your year can go and what it can be like. And you can write about particular areas of your business. Maybe you write one week about a script about money and how money comes to you this week, how money is showing up in your bank accounts, how you're getting emails that so-and-so just paid their bill, so-and-so paid in advance. Oh my gosh, they came to you and said, I want to pay it all off. How can I do that? All the different ways, that money is coming to you, you're seeing it, enjoying it, feeling it, seeing it in your bank account. Same thing for perfect clients, speaking engagements, maybe your program or product creation, so much more, right? Imagining the website party when your new website is done, your new book is done, your new program is done, your retreat is done, right? All of those things. And here's the thing, it is all made up, as my friend Rick Tamlin likes to say, it's all made up, right? You're making it up with the best information that you have in your head and your heart for where you're at right here, right now. And it's just one of many, many possibilities, right? All right, so I encourage you to pull out your journal, find your big comfy chair, or go out to the ocean or somewhere that inspires you, or somewhere overlooking the ocean if it's cold, or overlooking the mountains. And somewhere where you really feel in your body and you can feel the creative power happening. Lots of times I find it at a coffee shop, just going to a cafe and kind of checking out of real life and just being in this little cocoon. I'll put on some music with my earbuds and I can go in kind of this dream state, and it's a lot easier to script. It's harder to script if you just sit at your computer and, okay, now I'm going to script on the computer, it's really powerful when you're writing it. Not that you have to write it, you can do it on the computer or write it, but whichever way helps get the flow going, right? That's what we want. We want the flow going. All right. So, and in my success scripting classes, I have a whole process that we go through, powerful questions to help you get in even deeper, to make it more juicy, right? To get bigger insights and to align your energy, letting go of what you don't want, so that you can open up the creative energy for what you do want, all right? And then the important part, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, is that you want to listen or look over your script for where is it pointing you for the courageous, inspired action, right? Because you got to do your part, buy the lottery ticket, start writing the book, plan the retreat, put a deposit down, right? Those are the things that we have to do when the opportunities come to us and present to us, or we start investigating it. So the opportunities have an opportunity to come to us, right? So that's your part too, is that courageous, inspired actions that lots of times will get illuminated when you start writing your scripts. Things will come to you that you never even thought of before to take those kinds of actions. All right. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Joyful Business TV, and I got you really curious about success scripting. And if you are, please go over to joyfulbusiness.com. You can sign up for my newsletter to get notifications, learn how to have a joyful business and get notifications of the workshops and events and things like that I do that'll support you in doing success scripting and all sorts of other ways to really open up your power, open up your creativity, help you find your voice, connect you to your soul work, get you out there so that you can create a successful business around this. All right. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching this episode of Joyful Business TV. I want to invite you to get more creative strategies and support for growing your business. You can start right now by activating your abundance mindset with a really powerful creative visualization that will help you get into the universal abundance current, one of my favorite things to do. And you'll also get a companion 7-day journal that will help you create a daily habit of co-creating with the universe. These are two powerful resources that you can get started right now to help grow your business and activate that abundant mindset. You just go over to activateabundancegift.com.